unspecified number of commuters in Katsina. President Muhammadu Buhari says he will support only candidates fielded by the APC in the forthcoming elections. Beginning of a new chapter as 5G technology rollout begins. And on the foreign scene, many killed in Russian attack on Ukraine train station. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Now the details. Bandits reportedly blocked the Katsina-Jibia road on Wednesday and kidnapped an unspecified number of commuters. The bandits, who came on 6 motorcycles at around 5 p.m, were said to have occupied the road and fired gunshots to scare commuters before they kidnapped the occupants of 2 vehicles. Lately, the Katsina-Jibia road has been frequented by bandits despite multiple security checkpoints and a military barracks along the road. Meanwhile, police spokesman in the state, SP Gambo Isa, could not be reached for confirmation at the time of filing this report. Meanwhile, the federal government says it cannot resume the Abuja-Kaduna train service for now because it will be insensitive to the plight of families whose loved ones are still in captivity. Minister of Transportation Muazu Sambo disclosed this to State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House, Abuja. The Transport Minister, who was addressing questions on the suspension of the service following the March 28th train attack, noted that the government is still investigating the right type of surveillance equipment to procure in order to effectively monitor the tracks along the Abuja-Kaduna route, as well as concessioning it in a public-private partnership arrangement. Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council has approved 1.49 billion naira for the repair works to be carried out at the Nigerian Railway Corporation. One person has been reportedly killed following a disagreement between 2 communities during a football match in Nukai within Ardokola local government area of Taraba State. Police spokesman in the state, Abdullahi Usman, while confirming the incident, said the divisional police officer of Ardokola local council was not also spared as he was pelted with stones, which led to the breaking of his head, as well as other officers when they made efforts to restore peace. Several others were said to have also been injured, with some receiving treatment at various health facilities in the area. Usman said arrests have been made and an investigation into the incident has been fully launched. President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday said he will not support candidates of other political parties against those of his party, the All Progressives Congress, APC. According to a statement by presidential spokesman Garba Shehu, the president assured that he would continue to support the party at all levels to enforce discipline, synchronization and coordination. The statement by the president follows increasing insinuations that some stalwarts of the ruling party would support the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, against Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his APC counterpart. President Buhari also directed officials in and around the presidential villa and all those engaging in loose talks to shun controversial statements that may hurt the party and the government. Still talking politics, the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has denied any move to collapse the party's structure with other political parties. The national chairman of the party, Rufai Al-Ali, said the party is not ready to surrender its legitimacy as a duly registered political party to any other party. Al-Ali, who spoke with newsmen in Lagos, was responding to speculations that the supporters of his presidential candidate and national leader, Rabiu Kwankwaso, were in talks with the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The NNPP chairman said the room for mergers among political parties had already closed, citing the rules and guidelines for the 2023 elections released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Speaking on the recent defection of former Kano State Governor Ibrahim Shekaro from the party, Al-Ghali said the party respects his decision but will not be dragged into any controversy. Meanwhile, People's Democratic Party members and supporters of his presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar are calling for an amicable resolution of the crisis between the party and Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. The group, which made the call during its general meeting, which held in Abuja, says its chances will be affected in 2023 if it fails to approach the poll as a united house. The report.
After my commission of project, nobody should say Wike has started, though. Because when I start, I've been on my own. They are looking for trouble when there's no trouble.
As the crisis in the People's Democratic Party brews, party loyalists and other faithfuls have expressed worry over the chances of their party in the general election. These supporters are no different.
To be honest, in life, there has to be conflict in every organization. All we hope for is that it is resolved amicably. You see, the truth about life is if there is no conflict, then it means you are not even living life the way it should.
They are, however, optimistic that the crisis will be resolved before the commencement of presidential campaigns.
Your tongue, there's this saying in Hausa, harce da haƙori, have misunderstandings sometimes, and I'm sure this is one of them, but we are hopeful that it will be resolved very soon. Everything is being done, and we also are appealing to both parties to please sit on the table and resolve this.
The Director General of the group, who spoke to journalists on the sidelines of its general meeting, explained that it will not be business as usual in the general election, as vote buying would be difficult to perpetrate.
I don't think that vote buying will sell at this point, because with the security that have gathered already, if you are trying to do that, you'll be caught, and once you're caught, you know what it is. So I am advising anybody planning a fraud for that to please disengage from it, because it will not take you anywhere.
Mrs. Dike also called on women to actively participate in determining Nigeria's next set of leaders.
I encourage all the women and the youth to ensure that they have their PVC. That is your power, and that is what will tell who you become tomorrow. Because if you vote for a candidate that will show you the way or teach you where you will fish, then you've made it in life, not a principal that will give you fish. Tomorrow you start looking for another one.
They are, however, confident in the chances of their flag bearer Atiku Abubakar and pledge to work for his victory in the election. Sagir Ibrahim reporting for Trust TV.
And despite concerns over Nigeria's large debt profile in recent times, President Muhammadu Buhari has so far been able to offset about 1 trillion naira of public debt owed state governments. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola explained to newsmen at State House Abuja that the debts were run up by states which constructed federal roads before the life of the current administration. He said the Federal Executive Council at its Wednesday meeting approved contracts for the construction of some major roads in 5 northeastern states. Kende Amodu reports.
The Northeast Development Commission was the biggest beneficiary from the rain of contract approvals at this week's meeting of the Cabinet. 5 roads in the Northeast have been penciled down for reconstruction. This is in line with the mandate of the Commission established in 2017 to coordinate the resettlement, rehabilitation, integration and reconstruction of infrastructure in the region that is worst hit by the Boko Haram insurgency.
And all these roles are being taken into consideration and selected in conjunction with the state governments and other critical stakeholders. These roads are expected to stimulate economic activities, enhance security, and facilitate the freer movement of goods and people in these affected states.
Meanwhile, the federal government has offset about 1 trillion naira public debt incurred by state governments. These are interventions made on federal roads previously before the life of the Buhari administration.
So this is also part of the national debt. So the process of payment requires the Ministry of Finance, subsequent to this approval now, to go to the National Assembly to get approval to raise debt to secure payment to the states. I think it's important to note that when we're having conversations about the national debt, these are some of the components. They were inherited debts that this government is also paying for infrastructure.
There are indications that the Abuja Light Rail Service will soon begin operations. The rail, inaugurated by President Buhari in July 2018 and open to passengers, has since been abandoned. But it just got approval for a contract to provide security services for the entire 45 kilometers of the track within the Federal Capital City.
And these security services are meant to protect the key infrastructure on the rail tracks, the signaling and communication equipment, as well as the electrical system.
Now, just how soon the Abuja Light Rail will resume is not certain, as some repairs may have to be made to vandalized portions of the track. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still ahead on the news, how local maize flour gains popularity. Details of this and more after the break. You stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now let's recap our top stories. Bandits kidnap unspecified number of commuters in Katsina. And President Muhammadu Buhari says he will support only candidates fielded by the APC in the forthcoming elections. And moving on to other news now, the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA on Wednesday launched digital gadgets to aid its strategic disaster communication system. NEMA Director General Mustafa Ahmed, who launched the High-Terra radios, said the introduction of strategic communication technologies was to enhance effective communication among team players. He listed new strategic communication frameworks as digital push-to-talk over cellular and broadband communication infrastructure and High-Terra devices. Ahmed said the launch was the first phase and all the agency's offices nationwide will be covered. He said the 160 available radios will be deployed across the agency's offices. And as the struggles by families to afford 3 square meals heighten, local maize flour has flooded markets across Katsina State. The maize flour, popularly known as garin kilo, is used in preparing tuwon masara, which is easy to make. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi visited some spots where this popular corn flour is being processed and sold.
Necessity, they say, is the mother of invention. Maize flour is now a lucrative business in many towns and cities in the northern part of Nigeria, especially in Katsina State. Apart from its availability, Maize flour is affordable, easy to make, and it saves time. Families prefer to patronize this ready-made flour as it is a shortcut of cooking a satisfying meal for the family without any fuss. Beyond that, poverty, inflation, and high cost of living forced many families to resort to this innovation of garden kilo.
You have the time to quickly process the food and then process the raw material and eat the food. Unlike when you go and buy the maize, you have to process it. It takes a long time, and you are alleviating the difficulties to your family. They don't have to process all through, and the cost difference isn't much. It's even cheaper, better, more efficient just by the processed one.
Observers said production of this maize flour has also increased the value chain of the business as more people are involved before it gets to the end user. A lot of people are making money with this business. You can see people from mulling, grinding to milling, and sales of the flour. Everyone is making money. The value chain has tremendously increased. The prices of the corn flour differ depending on the quality and quantity required by the buyer. However, in this market, there are three categories of the flour. The Damfuntua, which is of high quality, Dankatsina, a step lower, and the ordinary, which is of the lowest of all. What is amazing is that each category tastes different when prepared. How much is the cost of this flour, sir? It is of 3 to 4 categories. There is the one processed in Funtua, which is the best. It costs 350 naira per kilo. There is also the one processed in Katsina, on the ordinary one, which costs 300 and 250 respectively. Traders are, however, making a brisk business here, being a popular meal and affordable, and is eaten by almost every family. With the projection of imminent hunger by the World Bank, people are calling on relevant authorities to check the rate at which inflation is raking the already fragile economy of the nation. They said government should come up with modalities and measures to control hike in food prices so as to protect the most vulnerable in the society. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Host Television News, Katsina.
And over 2,000 trees are to be planted across Dawakin Kudu local government area of Kano State as part of efforts to prevent desert encroachment across the state. Flagging off the exercise, the district head of Dawakin Kudu, Jafaru Usman, harped on the need for all to adopt the statewide tree planting campaign in order to prevent the effect of climate change in Kano. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibril reports.
Organized by a non-governmental organization, Panacea Foundation, with the support of Federal Ministry of Environment and other stakeholders, this tree planting campaign is to further sensitize communities across Dawakin Kudu local government on the importance of tree planting to protect the environment owing to the global effect of climate change.
It will not just prevent desert encroachment, it will also contribute to so many aspects of human endeavor. But back to the desert encroachment, we have neighborhoods that are very close to desert areas, maybe areas around that bordering some part of Jigawa, so we're trying to establish a shelter bed around those places.
According to the district head of Dawakin Kudu, tree planting at a time like this is very necessary, especially now that flood disaster has ravaged many villages and towns across Dawakin Kudu local government, while assuring his continuous commitments towards sensitizing residents on the need to embrace the exercise across his district.
It is very important for you to take up this campaign in all the emirates across Kano State. You can start by looking at doctors to inform the people about the benefit of these trees, because some trees are medicinal, some are even food.
Meanwhile, the Panacea Foundation confirmed that tree planting campaign is going round the 44 local government areas of Kano State and that no place will be left until the environment is fully protected.
Before we go on site to plant, we do assess every place. For example, the commitment of the communities, then the protection gears. Is it a basket or this stone or even mosquito net, or is the place fenced? So if it is fenced, we don't have any problem in planting the trees.
While this exercise is flagged off in Dawakin Kudu, it is however expected that cutting down trees and bush burning across many parts of Kano State will also be prevented. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
And from the environment, we take a look at technology, where fifth generation, popularly known as 5G network, has officially rolled out across 190 sites in the country on Wednesday. Now, this progression from GPS to 2G to 3G and 4G has greatly impacted telecommunications technology, which has rapidly developed over the years. In this report, Noel Sampson looks at the opinion of people about the 5G rollout on Wednesday. The report.
There is a lingering worry over connectivity with continuous churning out of smartphones, iPads, laptops, and different applications. The enduring strength of an internet connection is a bedrock for the use of these gadgets, software, and applications. That is why tech corporations are always trying to go one step further with this innovation. The latest search for a better operating system has given birth to the 5G. Experts believe that the introduction of the 5G network will improve the use of many applications. But what do people believe?
5G basically just means a faster internet receiving and taking out data. That's megabytes per second. Just like your 1G, we had the 1G, the 2G, 3G, 4G, and the next thing is 5G. Basically, it just means speed, better speed.
Those who use the internet as a means of livelihood are excited with the introduction of the 5G network as an improvement on the 4G network.
It will improve the standard of living, through which you know today that you will be in your house, you are making sales through your platform. So whenever there is this disappointment of network, you have issue with uploading whatsoever you are selling on the social media.
And now a look at the foreign scene, where officials in Kyiv say a Russian missile attack has killed 22 civilians and set a passenger train on fire in eastern Ukraine on the country's Independence Day. In a video address to the United Nations Security Council on Wednesday, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said the attack set fire to train carriages in Sheplin, a town for about 3,500 people. The attack came after stern warning that Russia may try to do something particularly nasty or disrupt celebrations as Ukraine marks the 31st anniversary of its independence. There was no immediate comment from Russia, while the United States has condemned the attack. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe to watch us live on YouTube and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.